This is Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost. It's 10 o'clock. Your headlines. Scowling and staring down the barrel in an historic mugshot, Donald Trump surrenders over accusations he conspired to overturn the results of the election in Georgia.
We did nothing wrong at all, and we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest.
The energy price cap falls below £2,000, but consumers could still be facing higher bills. One woman's fears after revealing to police that her fiancé confessed to killing a charity cyclist.
Do you fear that he could harm you?
100%.
Prigozhin crash. The Ministry of Defense says the Wagner boss was almost certainly killed in a plane crash. Roving on the moon, the first moving pictures from India's mission to the lunar surface, plus a special tribute to Parky. I'll be speaking to Sir Michael Parkinson's son about his father's life and career. A very good morning to you. He's no stranger to being photographed, but a scowling police mugshot of Donald Trump, an historic first for a former US president, may become the most famous of all time. The 77-year-old has been formally booked by authorities in Georgia over accusations he conspired to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election in the state. Mr. Trump, who's running for president again in 2024, attended Fulton County Jail, where he was also fingerprinted before being released on bail. From Georgia, our US correspondent Mark Stone has our first report.
Defiance, certainly. Defining, no question. The first ever mugshot of an American president, history made and a nation stunned. Released by the local sheriff's office at the end of a remarkable day. Just an hour earlier, Donald Trump had emerged from his branded jet at Atlanta's airport for the journey to prison and a booking for the most serious of charges. There is an irony that it was the local police who cleared roads for him to pass to make his way to Fulton County Jail for their own sheriff to arrest him. And so it was that the motorcade swept past bemused onlookers and into one of this country's most notorious prisons, where a former president becomes just a number. P01135809, the inmate number on the charge sheet released while he was inside. Donald J. Trump of Palm Beach, Florida, white male, 6'3", 215 pounds, blonde or strawberry hair, blue eyes. And then the charges against him. They amount to an alleged attempt to subvert democracy, to steal an election. Along with the mugshot, his fingerprints were taken and a bond paid to secure his release. And with that, it was done. The motorcade rolling again back to the airport.
Well, the fourth time this has happened in just a few months. It feels almost now to be routine, but do not underestimate the consequences.
God bless America. Everybody, land that high rock.
He wouldn't have seen his supporters, 100 or so true loyalists, camped on the other side of the jail among the media throng.
He's been accused, he's suffered, he's been persecuted, now prosecuted, but he's been persecuted for 7 years with everything they can think of. And if it wasn't for him, they'd be after us.
Are you worried about how all this plays out?
No, because I know in the end, he will be vindicated. You know, he's a president of the people.
And he is going to save this country, and he'll save the world too. Because where we go one, we go all.
Every time Donald Trump is indicted, his support goes up.
Trump won and you know it.
His base is deep, but how high is his ceiling? Among the crowd, two rats, Republicans against Trump.
I'm motivated because I want change, and it's time for people to take accountability for their actions. It's time. It's about time for Trump to.
Back at the airport, a statement and a defiance to match the mugshot that is already on T-shirts.
What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support.
Followed now by their master are the lawyers, White House staff and local election officials, all accused alongside him. This indictment stands apart from the others precisely because of its breadth. This is now a familiar story. Frequency tends to normalise. This, though, is anything but normal. Mark Stone, Sky News in Atlanta.
Well, let's speak to David Dunn now. He's a professor in international politics at Birmingham University. David, thanks so much for joining us. First and foremost, what did you make of the mugshot?
Well, it's an extraordinary picture, isn't it? And it's clearly very well studied. He must have spent hours in front of the mirror getting that look exactly the way he wanted it for this iconic image that would be pinging around the world and be actually an image of the year and an image perhaps of the decade. And so he got it the way he wanted, cross, scowling, belligerent. It's the particular vision of him, and all part of the choreographed nature of his approach to this indictment in Georgia. The timing of it is precisely to hit prime time, to actually take away headlines from the Republican debate in Wisconsin. It's all about media manipulation.
Well, he didn't decide the date of when he had to show up to court per se. But David, I'm interested that you're saying...
You have 10 days to do it in, and he chose to do it the day after the Republican debate. So he didn't choose yet, actually.
In terms of this idea that he's purposefully trying to pressure prosecutors and scowl and look angry and powerful, that a lot of people are talking about, I totally get. Is that the dominant thought behind it, do you think? Because equally some people are making the comparison to Zoolander and Ben Stiller, and could this simply just be a man that has quite a big ego and always cares about his appearance, and there's a lot of that in it as much as anything else?
Yeah, the fact that he immediately put it on Twitter, he hasn't been on Twitter for 2 years, and accompanied that by a call for donations, shows that this is a look that he's thought about and actually workshopped with his team to make sure that they got the exact image they want to do. They plan to do mugs, T-shirts, bumper stickers, all sorts of things with this image. So they went for a particular look, and they would have practiced a whole variety of different ones in order to get the one that they thought would be the most iconic and the one that would actually sell the most.
You mentioned he's back on Twitter. Of course, in recent years he's been using his own platform, Truth Social, reactivating his Twitter account yesterday, some 87 million followers on that platform. How significant is that, regardless of whether he's posting this photo or other messages?
Well, it's significant in that he used Twitter as his main means of communication to his base. And of course, the Truth Social, his own network, didn't get the same take-up. So the fact that he's back on there is part of his campaign. He's ratcheting up as electioneering. We're moving towards the election. And of course, what Trump is also doing is trying to fuse the legal and the political processes to actually use his trial as a way to put out a message of him being persecuted, as Trump being the victim, as a way to actually avoid talking about the issues of the campaign or indeed his record in office for 4 years. He would much rather deal with images and memes and that sort of approach rather than deal with either the substance of the crimes he's alleged to have committed or indeed the issues that face America going forward.
Just finally, David, maybe this is a silly question, but why is he in a suit and tie and coiffed hair? Well, why isn't he in something less appealing and holding up a placard with his name on it? Is that just the way it's done for this sort of crime in this sort of location?
Well, part of it is that he's saying this is beneath the dignity of the office of president to be brought before the court like this. So he's trying to rise above it. He's wearing the colours of the American flag. He's wearing a suit. He's trying to say that I'm above this. I shouldn't have to go through this process. So the image is calculated. We see him in Florida in his golfing outfits. Even those have the presidential seal, which is not officially allowed to use. But here he's chosen to go for the American flag in a different form.
David Dunn, thanks so much for joining us. Now, the energy regulator has confirmed a cut to its price cap that will see average household bills come down this autumn, but households are still facing eye-watering costs that remain around 50% higher than 2 years ago, with experts warning of more price hikes to come in the coming months. So let's take a look at what this means for you. Well, Ofgem has said typical household paying by direct debit for gas and electricity faced an annual charge of £1,923 from October to December. That was down from £2,074 for the 3 months to the end of September. The drop, the lowest level since October 2021, reflects further falls in wholesale energy prices as the market does stabilise. However, there are warnings from industry forecasts that December will likely see bills rise back again above the £2,000 mark when the price cap will be reviewed. Well, earlier this morning we spoke to the boss of Ofgem, Jonathan Brearley.
Should the government reintroduce those subsidies and help families directly?
Well, look, as a regulator, it's not my job to comment on government policy.
Would that be helpful?
Well, of course it would be helpful, but what I don't have to do, which they have to do, is think about the fiscal position, think about the tax position, and all the other trade-offs they've got to make. What I would say, though, is we need to be clear that although this is better, families are absolutely going to struggle with their energy bills this winter, and all of us need to work together to support that.
You want the price cap to be reformed in an ideal world?
Well, we want the government to look at that, to examine the alternatives, and then to make a decision. We're not saying it doesn't work, we're saying the world's changed, let's have another look.
The first moving pictures from India's historic mission to the moon have been released. The Chandrayaan-3's spacecraft became the first to successfully land on the moon's south pole on Wednesday. This time-lapse showing the ship's descent over the cratered barren surface. And then after that, the successful touchdown, we saw the rover released, as you can see here, moving at a speed of 1 centimetre per second. The 26-kilogram robot began its deployment and took its first drive in the dust. Its major mission will be to hunt for water, which could then potentially support life on the moon in future. A woman who went to police after her fiancé confessed to killing a charity cyclist has told Sky News she fears he'll hunt her down one day. Caroline Muirhead single-handedly helped solve the mystery surrounding Tony Parsons, who vanished near the Scottish Highlands in September 2017. In an exclusive broadcast interview, Caroline Muirhead spoke to our Scotland correspondent Conor Gillis about the moment she called in the police.
This was moments before Caroline's fiancé confessed to a killing and a cover-up.
The whole dynamic in the car felt awkward. And I was like, pulled the car over and I went, look, what is it? Like, you've literally asked me to marry you tonight. Then it was, give me your phone. Something really dark's happened here. And I said, what do you mean? He went, we killed a man a few years ago.
That man was cancer survivor Tony Parsons, who'd been cycling for charity across the Highlands in 2017. For years, his disappearance here was a mystery. But Alexander McKellar dumped Tony here in a shallow grave with dead animals. He led Caroline to that very spot where she ditched this drinks can and called police.
He literally just lights a cigarette and taps the ground and goes, here. And I just threw this Red Bull can over my right shoulder. Went back to pick it up. I crunched it into the ground because there's no other way you would ever know where that man was. How would you feel if there was someone out there who knew something about and they did nothing?
Police are now being investigated for potential criminality amid claims officers forced Caroline to spy on her ex for months before leaking her evidence to local gossips.
And the guy behind the bar goes, do you want a Red Bull, sugar-free like the gravesite?
By doing the right thing, it's destroyed your life.
They never saw me as a human, they never saw me as a professional. And they terrorised me, they intimidated me.
While Caroline battles for better protection for witnesses, she's been offered 24-hour security and admits her family are terrified about what Alexander could do.
Do you fear that he could harm you?
100%. And he...
What, fear of your life?
I think if he was drunk and intoxicated, yes.
Police say they cannot comment as investigations continue.
I'm so grateful.
But without this woman, Tony may never have been found.
Imagine giving someone their dad back.
Conor Gillis, Sky News.
Time to look at some of the other stories making news now. It's being reported that the Spanish FA president is going to quit today over his conduct at the Women's World Cup final. Luis Rubiales has been heavily criticised for kissing midfielder Jenny Hermoso on the lips as they celebrated beating England 1-0. He's expected to attend an emergency meeting later this morning. Two men have been arrested by police investigating a fire at the Crooked House in the West Midlands, which was known as Britain's wonkiest pub. A 66-year-old from Dudley and a 33-year-old from Milton Keynes were detained on suspicion of arson with intent to endanger life. A man has been charged with murder following the fatal shooting of a council worker, Ashley Dale, in Liverpool. The 28-year-old was found with a gunshot wound in her garden in August last year. Ian Fitzgibbon, who's also 28, has been charged after being arrested by the Spanish National Police and extradited from Spain. The Ministry of Defense says it's highly likely the Russian military commander Yevgeny Prigozhin was killed in Wednesday's plane crash. The MOD says his death would almost certainly have a deeply destabilizing effect on the Wagner group that he led. The military leader attempted a mutinous march on Moscow back in June, and there's been widespread suggestions the Kremlin was behind the crash, but President Putin's paid his condolences to the families of all those on board. Well, our Moscow correspondent Diana Magnay has the latest.
I mean, it depends what sort of proof the Kremlin wants to put before the people, and I think we will have some investigation at some point. But if you look at the results of an investigation, the investigation is ongoing, but if you look at Russia's investigation into, for example, other people who were assassinated or near assassinated, for example, Boris Nemtsov, Alexei Navalny, now in prison for 19 years, it wasn't as though long inquiries into what exactly happened there came out with anything particularly satisfying. I think if Prigozhin is alive, presumably he would appear somewhere, but my hunch and feeling is that he did indeed die in that crash. But it does raise so many questions as to why he would, alongside his top command, all fly in the same plane, when presumably he knew that his security was at some degree of risk after what he'd done, or he was lulled into such a false sense of security that he thought he could continue to have free passage through Moscow. He was taken in by the Kremlin's reassurances. It's very difficult to know. Interesting, though, that the Ministry of Defense today said that they thought that this would have a deeply destabilizing effect on the Wagner group. I mean, of course it will if you lose your entire top command, and over the last few weeks the Russian government has done its best to try and minimize and subsume Wagner's operations. I think it will be difficult for them to continue operating as an individual entity. Just one more thing to add. The US has said that they think this was caused by an intentional explosion on board. It's also what the Russian papers are looking into at the moment too.
Diana Magnay there for us in Moscow. And we've just received some comments from Prime Minister Rishi Sunak talking a little bit about Yevgeny Prigozhin. This is on a visit he's making at the moment to North Yorkshire. In fact, he begins by addressing the Ofgem price cap and then moves on to Prigozhin.
Those people. It's really important that we do target our support to the most vulnerable in society, and that's what we're doing. So the national living wage has gone up by around £1,400 for those on the lowest earnings. Pensioners are receiving an extra £300 this winter alongside their winter fuel payment, and everyone on universal credit is receiving £900 in direct cost of living support, because I want to make sure the most vulnerable in our society do get that extra help. Even as the energy prices are coming down, we want to keep providing that help because bills are still high.
I wanted to also just ask about a geopolitical question here. The situation in Russia is fast moving, the apparent death of Yevgeny Prigozhin. What is your thoughts on what's happening? What's your reaction to that?
Well, our intelligence suggests that Prigozhin was most likely on the plane. We're obviously monitoring the situation very closely, working with our allies to establish what happened. But the most important thing here is for Putin to end his illegal invasion of Ukraine, which is causing untold suffering to people, and we will continue to stand with Ukraine, support them so that they can resist that aggression from Russia.
And last week,
the Prime Minister there speaking in North Yorkshire just moments ago. You're watching Sky News today. Still to come, we'll get the latest on an investigation investigation into the deaths of 88 people. They brought products from a Canadian-based website. We'll explain that story. We'll also be getting more reaction to Donald Trump's mugshot after he surrendered to authorities in Georgia. And at the bottom half of the hour, in about 10 minutes, I'll be joined by Sir Michael Parkinson's son to look back at some iconic moments in the much-loved broadcaster's career. We'll be right back.
Fortunately, the new purification system called ALPS, which stands for Advanced Liquid Processing System that we have in place, is very effective. It removes 62 different radiological materials. The only thing it can remove is tritium, but that is being diluted to the levels that not only meet international regulatory standards for nuclear industry, but within or well below the World Health Organization's limits for drinking water. IAEA has released a comprehensive report that concludes that Japan's procedures and actions are consistent with international safety standards, and that this discharge will have a negligible radiological impact on people and the environment. So a number of countries that may have concerns, as you mentioned, South Korea or other countries, have indicated their understanding. And with regard to China, we have responded to their questions in detail on multiple occasions. Unfortunately, China has made factually incorrect statements regarding ALPS treated water. Japan has repeatedly made appropriate rebuttals and has strongly requested China to ensure that discussions be based on scientific evidence. We have also repeatedly explained to Hong Kong the safety of ALPS treated water, but unfortunately, there is a development in terms of strengthening their import restrictions without good scientific or without any scientific evidence.
Welcome back. An investigation has been launched into the deaths of 88 people in the UK after they bought products from Canadian-based websites which targeted individuals who wanted to end their life. Earlier this year, a 57-year-old Canadian man was arrested and charged with 2 counts of counselling and aiding suicide. The National Crime Agency says more than 230 people in the UK have bought products from these websites over the course of 2 years. Joining me now is our correspondent Becky Cotterill. Becky, extraordinary story this. Just talk us through what's being considered here.
Yeah, it is an extraordinary story and obviously quite upsetting and perhaps triggering for some viewers. But this investigation centres around a man, Kenneth Law, reportedly a chef in Ontario, Canada. He is accused of sending 1,200 packages with this lethal substance to people in 40 different countries. And as you said, it's thought that people were accessing these products online and buying them with the intention of killing themselves. Now, as for the 88 deaths that are being looked to in the UK, the National Crime Agency cannot confirm that in any of those cases the deaths were caused by this substance, but that is something that they are investigating. As you mentioned, Law has been arrested and charged in Canada, and we understand that he is due in court today. Now, you can see pictures of the substance that he is accused of selling. It's described as a white crystalline substance, a chemical that is supposed to be used in food processing, but if humans breathe it in enough quantity, it can be fatal. Now, I've seen the packaging of one of these products that Law is alleged to have sold. On the package, it says that the substance is 99.999% pure. It does not refer to human consumption. It refers to this substance being used to cure meat. Now, the investigation in Canada will only focus on alleged crimes in Canada. So if this investigation in the UK progresses, any charges that Law face, it would mean that it would have to be extradited.
Becky, thank you so much for that. By the way, if you have been affected by any of the issues that we've discussed, you can call Samaritans free of charge 116 123 or email joe@samaritans.org. Just want to bring you some breaking news. You'll remember 5-10 minutes ago we brought you the extraordinary story of a charity cyclist who was missing for 3 years when recently he's been found, his body, after the fiancée of a driver revealed to police that her fiancé had admitted to hitting the cyclist while driving and burying and hiding his body for that period of 3 years. The sentencing has just taken place, and Alexander McKellar has been jailed for 8 years. There is the victim, Mr. Parsons. Let's bring in our reporter, Connor Gillis, who knows this story better than anyone. Connor, just talk us through again, just a quick reminder of the case that was that we were waiting for the sentencing of, and the significance of the sentence.
Well, this has been a long-running mystery here in Scotland, and today is the end of what has been that very painful period for the family of Tony Parsons. Alexander McKellar, the man who was behind the car that night of that fatal collision on the edge of the Scottish Highlands near Bridge of Archie, has been jailed here in the last few seconds to 12 years behind bars for killing Tony Parsons that evening and then proceeding to cover up the crimes for more than 3 years. And if that wasn't bad enough, Alexander McKellar engineered his brother into this crime. He was a passenger in the car at that time, Robert McKellar, and the pair of them dug a shallow grave on the remote, rugged, rural estate on the edge of the Scottish Highlands where they lived, and dumped Tony's remains in there in an area that was used for disposing of animal remains, dead animal remains. Now, how did this story come to light? Well, it certainly was not for the want of trying from police. There were frantic police searches. There was relentless media appeals. The family of Tony Parsons were begging for help. Clearly, this was a case of a man who'd vanished into thin air while conducting a charity trek through rural Scotland, 100 miles, and he vanished into thin air. And at that point, after 3 years, the investigation came to a blank until Sandy, Alexander as he is known, got into a new relationship with a woman called Caroline Muirhead, who you've been hearing her story on Sky News this morning. And it is an extraordinary tale, that moment where she asked him if he had any secrets that he wanted to reveal, and he pulled over at the side of the road late one evening, 3 years after the crimes had been committed, and said, "It was an accident, I killed him." He then proceeded to lead Caroline to the burial site, the deposition site of where those human remains had been left for so many years. And over the course of the next few months, Caroline left a Red Bull soft drinks can at the scene of that crime and led detectives to that very moment. Now, that allowed Tony clearly to be laid to rest with his loved ones surrounding him at that time, and that has brought about this case that we are talking about here in court today. Alexander McKellar will spend 12 years behind bars. The sentencing is continuing for his co-accused, his brother Robert McKellar, who also faces a lengthy period behind bars.
Connor, thanks so much for that. You're watching Sky News, and up next I'll be joined by the son of Sir Michael Parkinson to look back at some iconic moments in the much-loved broadcaster's career. We'll be right back.
Tesco Stronger Starts will fund £5 million towards healthy food and activities for children this year. Pick up your blue token in store to help children thrive in your area.
Tanzania, and the best part is SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamb.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that the start of the darkness. The hole of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Broadcasting live online. Turn it on. Turn it up.
Show them you got the Coco set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
All around the world. Relax.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile. If you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. world in your hands. The hand that made me who I am. Same for now, yesterday, and forevermore. And that's what makes you great. You are God. You will never.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on all other planets. We salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Friday edition of the morning show. Today is the 25th day of August, the year 2023, with the time now 10:40 exactly from the hearts of London. And of course, it is Friday edition of the morning show, and you want to know how to start your weekend?
The coolest way to start your weekend.
By tuning in to listen to us on Starr Radio UK. Well, in UK, we're gearing ourselves for a long weekend. So hey, wherever you might be listening to us or watching us from, gear yourself up, get yourself up, and let's take this journey.
Love for you.
And I say good morning to Mr. and Mrs. Aqua.
All of you makes
Andy and Rejoice and little Prince Kofi.
You make a dawn fade.
He's 1 week old. And I say congratulations to you, Prince. If you're celebrating any special day today, I salute each and every one of you. I wish you all the best. And to my lovely dear sister and friend, Shireen of Inspired Day Nursery, the boss lady herself. It's a big day on Sunday. And Shireen and the mister, I wish you all the best in your marriage life. Massive good morning to you all. Let me say good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomin, Koiki, Mr. Dantabiri, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, for doing a good work yesterday, doing all the production on the special edition of the Faith Talk. The KB Bossman and the guests that appeared on from the MPP. I salute each and every one of you for the time that you spent listening or watching that program. Let me say good morning to my brother Felix in Aberdeen, Kojudi, Kofi Ali, Mr. Malik Dramani, Mahama, and all, Kit Yosin, and all you wonderful people, Dr. Morton, and all the lovely ones here in the UK and other parts of the world. Salute you. Olakunle, good morning. Shamsuddin, good morning to you. My Bishop Adeshina, massive good morning to you, sir. And all the lovely colleagues at the RBS office in Lagos, I salute you. Pastor Mo, I hope you are doing very well, man of God. Good morning to you. Reverend Emmanuel Chidi, I salute you.
Yesterday and forevermore.
Sir Maxwell, good morning. Well, you are good morning to you. So let me put it this way, all protocol observed. If I happen not to mention your name, just forgive me. But as we say, that tune play in the background, your presence and the fact that you listen to us and you watch us, though it causes you an arm and a leg, that makes you great. So once again, welcome to the program. 10:43 the time. Let's crack on. So this morning I'm going to bring you the quote of the day. The weather forecast will follow soon. Then the travel updates will continue from thence. We'll look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as global trotting. Then we'll move on from there. Exactly at 11 o'clock we have Mr. Olayomin Koiki joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. We'll continue from there to look at some of the other stories making the rounds in and across the globe. From America,
love for you runs deep.
To Zimbabwe. If it's making the headlines, we're gonna touch on it. Then at 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. At 12:30, we'll bring the first part of the program to a close, and then we'll move on to Kent, where our money man, Mr. Dantabri, CEO of GL Accountancy Services, is to bring you the money hour. So in gist, that's what's going to happen today. Wherever you are, don't touch the dial at all. Say glue to the sets. Before the lines are open, if you have any comments, feel free to do it. You know what you can do? Post it on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Twitter, and all the platforms that we are broadcasting on. All of you on the sister broadcast stations that as well who are listening and watching us as well. I salute you all. Good morning and welcome on board. So the quote for the day said, today is a product of yesterday and likewise tomorrow a product of today as well. So what are you doing today to make tomorrow better? That is a big question. What are our politicians doing today to make tomorrow better for us? Interestingly, I chanced on a story where a former MP in Ghana of the ruling party, he said, God punished me for being selfish and not putting Ghana first. Now, I will try to see the details of that story, how God punished him. I mean, if our politicians know this, because I was saying the other time to Mr. Olayomin Koiki, when the ministers who were being sworn in or taking the oaths of office, and I was asking myself whether there is the Quran or whether the Bible or whatever they are using to swear themselves in. I pray that God punishes any one of them who fails to do what they are saying that they're going to do. God or Allah, whichever it is that they are swearing on, punishes them. May they see it rarely, feeling gadoji. And when they look at it, they look at it twice. Alright then, I didn't come this morning to come and rain any curses or anything on anybody. Alright then. Let's move on straight to the weather front. Let me tell you what is happening on the weather front this morning. Well, for London and the southeast of England, this is how the weather is going to be for you today and over the weekend. Cloud will move in early in this afternoon, becoming widespread and bringing the odd shower. Cloud will tend to break later in the evening. And tonight we'll see a mix of light cloud and frequent clear skies throughout. And slightly cooler conditions with a light to gentle southwesterly breeze expected as well. So the temperature today is going to be 21 degrees. The lowest is going to be 12 degrees. Pollen level moderate. UV level moderate. Pollution low. Sunset 20:03. Sunrise for tomorrow morning 06 hours. Come Saturday, a mixture of sunshine and cloud, rain. My apologies. Top temperature 20 degrees. The lowest 10 degrees. Sunday similar. Then Monday bank holiday cloudy. Top temperature 21 degrees and the lowest 11 degrees. So that's what's going to be happening. So if you have any occasions or anything planned, gear yourself up and let's take this journey. Starr Radio UK. I'm going to be telling you more about what is happening from across the globe. Okay, for those of you traveling this morning, what is your travels like this morning? Let me bring that your way quickly and then we continue from there.
I worship you. Heaven and earth cry out your name. I worship.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. As you keep it navigated, I promise about the Starr Radio travel update that comes to every day from 10:40. It's now 10:48. So what is your travels like? Well, for those of you traveling in London this morning on the major routes in London, I can tell you assuredly no exceptional delays there, so you can zoom through it. Now, when it comes to the London Underground this morning, Elizabeth Line and yes, has got minor delays between Paddington and Heathrow terminals 4 and 5. Reading while they fix the signal system failure. So if you can avoid that, do your best. And if you are embarking on a trip to get to the terminals, make sure that you plan things properly so you don't miss your flight. Then DLR has got park closures. London Overground has got park closures as well. That aside, all the others, good service. London Tramlin, good service there as well. Keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. As you keep it navigated, I promise our bond. The Woolwich area has got plant closures. That aside, all the other river bus lines are in good service. Landing Cable Car, good service there as well. And then that brings us to the final segment of the travel update. That is a major, that is the National Rail. My apologies. And on the National Rail, apart from the Great Western Railway that's got minor delays, all the others have got very, very good service this morning running. Yeah. And as I would say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your comment for today. But you know what? If it happens that there is any updates pertaining to the travels before the close of the program, we promise to bring you to the fore. But on that note, I say have a lovely journey, but keep your eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Star Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now 9 minutes to the top of the hour, and it's now time for Global Trotting. So what is happening from across the globe? Well, the death of the Wagner boss has been causing lots of worries all across, but I'll be telling you more about all that in a moment. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. But we're going straight to some of the stories that is making the rounds in Nigeria. Yomi will be putting all the rest there for you to look at, or that we're going to be looking at. LP, that Labour Party crisis deepens as Aburi rejects appeals court judgment, and then Nigeria Statistics Agency revises labor data and says unemployment is 4.1% in first quarter of 2023. And then Naira crumbles to 920 per dollar, and fuel marketers push for fresh price hikes. Now Dangote emerges most valuable brand in Nigeria for 6th year and beats the MTN Global Com banks. Okay. Governor Poe don't underrate APC, the retail Bayelsa PDP. Some of the stories making the rounds. And Nigerians stranded in UK, victims of visa scam. With all these health assistant visa scheme that seem to be going on, and a few people who have come in, they were promised heaven and earth, and they paid all that. They came in and the jobs are not available for them. But I know that necessary arrangements should be made for them. Because whoever the agency that brought them in has to see to that, because by so doing as well, they destroy the chances of other people coming in genuinely to come and get the jobs to do, or agencies that need the staff. Maybe what they will have to do now is to spread them or send them to those various agencies, and then those agencies that invited them without the job opportunities scrapped, of course, or taken away, or that permit taken away from them. Okay, a lot more going to be coming your way from there. Food palliatives, Tinubu asks Nigerians to vote out non-performing governors. Wow, let's see, can that be done? As I did say earlier on, a Ghanaian politician has said that, well, back in the day when he was an MP, he decided to do things for himself. Virtually not looking at the general interest of the people, the community that he was representing, and did everything, and it saw that God was punishing him, or God did punish him. I don't know. Now that he's maybe he's turned a new leaf, and therefore, so the question is, do our leaders, our representatives, our governors, whoever they are, do they see themselves as servants of that have been sent out to actually serve us, or they see themselves as masters who are going to be ruling over us, telling us what to do, and just siphoning everything that we have. What do you think about all that? More going to become your way. Tinubu, a federal government will no longer use propaganda on Nigerians. Minister Idris promises. Well, we had what do you call it? Elijah Muhammad, who was using propaganda and all sorts. Well, Tinubu is saying that he's not going to be using propaganda. So what is going to be the real fact? All right, then. MBS, Nigeria's unemployment rate reduced by 4.1%, as I did say. But in actual fact, you go to the ground, what jobs are people actually doing? And how lucrative? What are they making in a day? Are they even able to, with the jobs that they are doing, fend for themselves or get 1 meal a day? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. Now moving on straight to some other stories. Nigerians react to news of death of Wagner chief, the head of private military contractor group Yevgeny Prigozhin, and some of his top lieutenants were presumed dead in a plane crash on Wednesday. And the question is, how is it going to impact the Wagner operation in the various countries that were relying on them? Typical example was Niger. And what about the other states as well, other countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and all those who, and then Central African Republic, who were all relying on them? Has that actually brought about maybe a dismembering of that group? Well, more going to be coming away from there. Zimbabwe opposition vows to track and monitor as vote count begins. Well, yesterday there was an extension of the votes because in various places the votes couldn't get to the place on time. But well, how are they going to monitor it? Some say that elections are won at the polling station. So if you have all your tricks, you have to pull it out at the polling station. When you miss that, you are gone, mate. Okay. Ethiopian Prime Minister hails BRICS membership. Now, are we seeing a new bloc? And if you read the book of Daniel, as I did say from the Bible, how does it all pan out? How does it all pan out? More going to be coming your way. ECOWAS slams unacceptable Niger transition plan. So, are they still embarking on what we call it, an invasion? Okay, we'll be telling you more about that. And Sudan Army Chief makes first foray outside headquarters in months. Well. With some people or some citizens there trying to say that, well, I'm a man of the people. Really? All right then. Moving on to some other stories. Don't use force in restoring constitutional rule in Niger. The GCBC is saying. Who are the GCBC? I'll be telling you more about that. No luxury vehicles stolen to Ghana. Vehicle Dealers Association to Yoko. Well, how would they know? How did they know? We'll tell you more about that. And Mensa Bones to predict 70% win for Baumia in Swami. Okay, lots more going to be coming your way from there. I will work to bring back NDC to power. Omane Boama is saying, does he want the running mate position for the leadership of the former president? Okay. Lots more coming your way from there as well. Starr Radio UK. In other parts of the world, a mugshot of Donald Trump, the former president of United States of America, the first in history. Booking photo shows the former president stony face. Yeah, he's like, yeah. Somebody say burn your face. Stony faced after he was processed at an Atlanta jail. I think he's saying, when I become a president, what I will do to you people, you will never forget. Okay, there are some of the stories making the rounds there as well. And then Prigozhin likely dead, but no definitive proof. UK Defense Ministry saying Ukraine state emergency chief dismissed. UK working with allies to understand Prigozhin's crash. Well, what does it matter? He was the butcher of what do you call him? Putin's butcher, and he was Putin's chef as well. So, well, Putin said he made some mistakes. So, which mistake did he make that caused him his life? Well, maybe knowing that he was, in fact, a target because of what he did, that insurrection or that mutiny. So he was a target. Why would he fly all his, with his lieutenant on one plane or one jet and then end up losing all of them, they all losing their lives. But maybe he was on the other plane that was said to have landed and maybe has sneaked out, knowing that this was what was really going to happen. Lots more going to be coming away from them. Greece makes 79 arrests over wildfire. So what causes people to do that? The moment India rovers stepped out for moonwalk. Wow. The Indians are doing great. And we'll be telling you more about all that in a moment. But this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In the UK front as well, winter energy bills tick lower but will remain high. A new price cap by regulator Ofgem means a typical home will pay up to $1,923 a year from October for energy. We are getting there again. The cold weather is going to come in, and then what? Okay, and 88 UK deaths linked to Canadian poison seller. Now, Kenneth Law is alleged to have sold lethal substances online to people in the UK, Canada, and the US. Well, when it comes to regulatory powers, when it comes to online trading, it's very, very difficult. I can tell you, I can bet you. But he managed to do so. So what do you think about all that? Now, train strikes to hit bank, holiday, and festival travel. Now, visitors to the Reading and Leeds festivals and Notting Hill Carnival face disruption as rail workers walk out. What is going to be the impact there? Murder arrest as a man found dead after dog theft. Donald Patient was found dead at a house by police responding to reports of a dog being stolen. So did the person kill him after nicking his dog? Oh my wow. This and a lot more are going to be coming away from there. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now, let's go take a musical break, and once we come back, we'll be having Mr. Olayomin Koiki joining in to bring you the updates from Nigeria. And this is from Christopher Martin, and it's a reggae version of The Goodness of God. I hope that you've experienced some goodness of God this week. So far, enjoy it. It's a nice reggae tune.
Your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good, yes. Every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. You know I love your voice. Oh, you have led me through the fire.
This is Starr Radio UK.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
You know I've known you as a friend, and I have believed in the goodness of God. Oh, yeah. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good, so good. Every breath that I am able,
worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Your favorite Afro-Caribbean radio station in the UK.
Of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. You know I sing for you.
Well, the goodness of God by Christopher Martin there for you this morning. Well, all my life you have been so good, With every breath that I take, I know that it's the mercies of God that has kept me and has kept you. And Nigeria has not happened to you. Maybe you go through some challenging times, but hey, we're here this morning, aren't we? We are alive, and therefore there is hope. God has not finished his business with us. And as he has not finished his business with us, so have we also not finished our business with you. And this morning we're going to be bringing you everything that you need to know pertaining to what is happening from across the globe. So now let me cross over straight on to Mr. Olayomin Koiki, who has joined in all the way in our North London studios to bring you the updates from Nigeria. And let me say a massive good morning to you, Yomi.
Well, a very beautiful good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the world, and welcome once again to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. It is a very beautiful Friday, the end of the week, but not the end of the week for the Starr Radio, as a weekend has packed of so many activities. But as we all know, 11 o'clock, 7 minutes past, a lot of happenings in the most populous black nation in Africa, as they say. Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And good morning to those of you that have joined us on the sister broadcast, as we're live on TikTok, we're live on Instagram. But make sure you follow us on Starr Radio UK on Twitter, on the social media. But the best way is to download the apps, and make sure you follow us on www.starradiouk.com.
All right. So how are you doing, sir? And how is the family?
Well, the family are doing very great. We're grateful. As we always say, looking up to some of us that have migrated out of Africa. Some of us are the third generation, some of us are the fourth generation, and it seems that time flies. I mean, it's almost coming up to 25 years that I arrived in UK, 1998, and it seems already that some other generation has been born here, and before you look at it, we might be saying great-great-grandmothers. That is, as we pray for our parents to live long life, and for those that have lost their parents, we can only say that we are grateful for the life that they've spent before they left the world.
Of course, they lived a life that is worthy, and that's why we find ourselves here or find ourselves alive. Okay, yes, as we know, we're broadcasting. The North London studio is from home, and we have some of our engineers who we know are on holidays, and therefore they will try to do their best to help us. So just bear with us whilst we have my young man in there. He's a very good one. When he's working good, he's working very, very good. So allow him on. All right then. So listen to Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomin Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now let's quickly look at this story, and then that is pertaining to a statement that the president has made. Now for the food palliatives, and it's talking about Tinubu is asking Nigerians to vote out non-performing governors. Okay, we're not going to be having a governorship election next week or next month or next year. I think a couple of years before we're going to be doing that. However, there was an MP who is a member of the legislative in Ghana who said that, well, in his time, I mean, he said that God was punishing him because when he took that oath of office, the things that he was supposed to do, he didn't do. He was just doing everything for himself, and he think that God was punishing him, and now he has had a change of heart. He's a former MP. So do you think that maybe our governors, looking at what Tinubu is saying, that look, if your governors are underperforming, sack them or vote them out, they are going to hack into it, especially when we know that yesterday 5 billion that's supposed to go to a state ended up only 2 billion ending up there. We don't know where the 3 billion has gone to, whether it went to space, the moon, the south part of the moon, with the Indian spacecraft that went in there. Yomi.
Well, you're quite right, but there will be some governorship election. Remember that we do not have the full cycle when it comes to the general election. So that literally means that we will be having, some of the states that have not were unable to go in line with the every circulation of the INEC, where we have the presidential and the governorship election. So there are a few states that are going to be having some, but I believe that the President Bola Tinubu is actually speaking not just for those governorship, but probably maybe the ones that is coming up in 2027. The question is, can you recall back a governor or a senator or House of Reps according to the Constitution? It has never been done in Nigeria, so even if the Constitution does permit so. The question then is, what are we going to be able to gauge the performance of the governors, in each of our states? As many governors, as we know, have not performed very well, but it seems that the President Bola Tinubu is now telling Nigerians to vote out any governors that is underperforming. Like I said, maybe he's actually talking to those, that will be participating in the next election that is coming up very soon. But when it comes to the present governor, I'm not sure Nigerians can do anything to take them out so that we can bring in the new faces.
Now, listen to Starr Radio UK. I'm Mr. Olayomin Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. Now, but pertaining to that, do you think that Nigerians vote as per the policies and performance at all when it comes to governorship, or it comes to the general election or presidential election? Do we do that? Because I don't see that in Ghana. There is sycophancy. Oh, this one hails from my village, or it's my countryman, or this, and therefore I just, so whether the person is killing us, virtually having his knee on our throat, or no, and we just keep on doing that, and therefore they come and sit on our heads and rule over us. What do you see?
Well, I think what we can say, Belitels, because we didn't get the audio on from the other platforms, and I believe that should be on now. What I can say is that when it comes to how the Nigerians bring in the new representatives from each of the states, it's not on merit. It's on how much money you have to be able to project out during the campaign. Billions of naira are spent so that they can be able to convince the populace in terms of voting for them. And when that voting is done and completed, most of them are difficult to be found. Most of them, their performance is no longer there to support as many of those Nigerians. But the question is, can we have true governance in Nigeria? Can we have true governance where governors will be accountable? Let me give you an example. Many Nigerians, like Lagos State as an example, remember that a young girl died in one of the Lagos transport systems. Yeah. And you will expect that some heads should have been rolling off, but it seems that that is not happening. But maybe, like we said yesterday, we saw that 17 commissioners were not allowed at the state level, maybe because they want a good performance, and those 17 were not going to be bringing the image of the state out, and that is why we couldn't get those 17 approved by the House of Assembly in Lagos State. But in the last decades of the election in Nigeria, we've seen underperformance of some of the governors. One of them is Ibori. Ibori was the governor of Delta State. He ended up looting what was meant to be for the people into the UK. He was sentenced here, and it seems already is back again in governance, as Ibori is now negotiating soft landing for Emefiele.
Well, listeners, I hope that one day we'll get to that place where when we are looking at things, we're looking at things objectively, and not because of sycophancy or because the person hails from our village or our tribe, and therefore that's why we are voting for the person. But listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Okay, now let's move on quickly. Naira crumbles to $920 naira per dollar. Now, fuel marketers push for fresh price hikes. But the president did say, I think a couple of days ago, that there were not going to be fuel price hikes, that the prices were going to be staying there. What exactly is happening there?
Well, it seems that, the dollar, which is still the only means of, foreign exchange when it comes to business, not just in Nigeria, around the world, even as much as we know that the BRICS, which is now trying to push in the dollarization away so that we can have a new currency that can be used in terms of mode of businesses across the globe. As of today, the dollar is now 920 naira to a dollar, and the fuel marketers are now pushed for what is going to be a fresh hike. As of today, is about almost in the black market 850 naira per liter. But as the naira continue to crumble, the finance minister would have to be able to stabilize what is currently going on in Nigeria, because Nigeria do not have enough foreign reserve. Oil marketers yesterday have now insisted that there is likely to be more price at the pump for those that are buying petrol, also known as the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. Further plunge in the value of naira against the United States dollar is the reason for this. And more reason is because Nigeria do not have the full functioning refinery in the country. The president has promised that by end of the year, Port Harcourt refinery will be fully working. But as we say today, the local currency continued to weaken against the greenback at the black market, which is about 920 as at Wednesday. Again, the naira, which had hit up to 945 at the parallel market about 2 weeks ago, rebound last week. However, the local currency began to move southward. This week, the situation has become unsettled, and that literally means that economic managers and stakeholders in the oil gas sector are now telling Nigerians to prepare for more price at the pump.
But you remember that sometime last week or thereabout, was it last week that you weren't on, or thereabout, there was a story that talked about the NNPC going to assess some loan, or whether trading or something, to get some billions of dollars from what do you call it? Either one of these
Morgans.
Yeah. And so they were saying that was going to shore up. It was going to shore up the naira.
The government is trying as much as possible, to see what they can get out, when it comes to support from the central organ says estimate of net forex reserve is misleading. There was an article of days ago that we now have only up to $3.7 billion in terms of our foreign reserve, but it seems that the CBN is faulting the JP Morgans that the 3.7 billion estimation of the Nigerian foreign reserve. The Central Bank of Nigeria has literally faulted the recent estimation of the current foreign reserve by JP Morgan, saying it was presented out of context. We know that it has been falling dramatically because Nigerian production from the crude oil is not making a lot of impact. But how Nigeria government will be able to finance the budget is one of the biggest questions. And also, how do we stabilize, the use of dollar? Remember that Nigeria is not a producing country. That literally means that everything from toothpick to tissue paper to everything you can think of has to be imported into the country, and that is driving, the cost of living, and as well the cost of those that needs that dollar to import even the raw materials that will be useful for the local consumption of goods and services in the country.
Okay, let's see what happens. Well, but the president is saying that through his spokesperson that we're no more going to be using propaganda as a way no longer use propaganda on Nigerians, Minister Idris is promising. And my issue is, we had Lai Mohammed, and like with this particular story that is making a run pertaining to the dollar and the falling of the naira, they would have come out to give some excuse and do all sorts there. But he says that they're not going to use propaganda any longer. So are they going to be telling us the truth and nothing but the truth only? Are we sure about that? Yummy.
Whether the government will be truthful, to Nigerians, the federal government is no longer going to be using propaganda. This is now coming from the, Nigerian Minister Idris, the Minister of Information. The new one says, I'm not going to be like Lai Mohammed. I'm going to be different. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell Nigerians and international community exactly what the current situation that many Nigerians are facing back home. Whether that is just another propaganda itself, time will tell, because we know that politicians are always using whatever means to convince Nigerians that they are doing the best. So that is our new minister there, as you can see right there, being prepared right there. Yes. So according to the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, says the federal government of Nigeria will no longer use propaganda in messaging its policies and programs. Does that mean that the last government used propaganda and also policies and programs? The minister is called for the collaboration of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, in restoring the Nigerian trust in the government. The question is, do Nigerians itself trust the government?
That's a massive question. But it looks like Tinubu seems to be making some moves, as we do say that there's a new sheriff in town, and he seems to be trying to move in a different direction as per how Buhari did. And when it comes to appointment, it's coming to statements that it's making. And arresting MFLA and try to be on. So you see that he is trying to do something different. Somebody would have I thought that maybe he's coming from the opposition party, like somebody from the PDP who was taking the reins and now trying to calm down on things and trying to straighten things. So you ask yourself the question, how do Nigerians actually see Tinubu's performance as per how Buhari performed so far in a few months now? How have they marked him?
Well, you're quite right. I think the president is trying to be a little bit different from what we know when it comes to the previous government. So, Bola Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, do not want to be known as what Buhari performed. But as many part of the country are already saying that it seems that it's been a little bit biased, especially when it comes to appointment in the country. When it comes to positions that are a little bit juicy, because there are positions in Nigeria that it seems to be juicy. I was listening to Dele Alake, one of the ministers, I think in the mineral resources, and he stated it. I'll try and see if we can get the audio next week, that he actually told the president the kind of position that he will be fitted for him to be able to perform very well and save maybe millions of dollars to Nigeria and the Nigerian economy, because since we are only relying too much on the petrol and the crude oil rather. The question then is, will Tinubu perform differently from Buhari? We've seen that some of the steps he has taken, but fighting corruption will literally mean that he will have to open the book from the government. I don't think Tinubu wants to do that. We don't know what kind of arrangement he has done with Buhari before he left office. Maybe Tinubu will still have to allow Emefiele to go, because if Emefiele eventually, as we have stated that yesterday, that it seems that Emefiele is now looking for soft landing. Should Emefiele be allowed to continue and the government versus Emefiele, the former CBN, does that mean that Emefiele will point to Buhari as the government and other that Emefiele was probably selling dollars to, and so many other reasons that he has been alleged to be reason why he's been kept today? That will open a lot of worms and that means that Tinubu might be confronting his predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari, but we are not too sure whether that is going to happen. As much as most of them start in, we will stop corruption, we will avoid corruption, but the question is, will Tinubu be able to do what Buhari did by going after the PDP in 2015 up to the time that Buhari left? They were still running after the PDP. But the government that left now is an APC government. Does that mean that Tinubu will run after his own government that was there for 8 years when it comes to corruption cases, as we know that there's so many of such corruption cases across the country?
Well, we don't know what is going to happen there, but we had Buhari case where there was what this man, the one who took all the pension money. What is his name? I've forgotten the name.
Minor.
Yes, Minor. The Minor case. Up to now, we've not heard anything.
Probably leave it somewhere in the air condition in one of the prisons in Nigeria.
But we'll be following it very, very closely and to see what is going to happen there. But listen, it's Starr Radio UK. Now, Governor Obaseki attacks Tinubu's government to divert attention from his poor performance in Edo. That's what the information minister is saying. Now, how has Obaseki's performance been so far, and why is he attacking Tinubu? I mean, what has Tinubu done?
Well, again, the new minister does not want any kind of propaganda. I'm talking about the Minister of Information. So it seems that he's already on work. And it is going back to what we said yesterday. Remember, we talked about Obaseki, saying that, the palliative has not been distributed properly. And it seems that the Minister of Information, Alhaji Idris, the last one was we have to get used to all these ministers' names as we go into more of these kind of discussion. Governor Obaseki attacks President Bola Tinubu government to divert attention from his own poor performance in Edo State. This is coming again from the Minister of Information, not Muhammad Lai Mohammed. This is Muhammad Idris, Malam Muhammad Idris. The other one was Alhaji Lai Mohammed. So it seems that we still continue with Muhammad there. He's cautioning Governor Obaseki, a governor in an opposition party of the People's Democratic Party, that elections are over and that he should show more statesmanship. The Nigerian government has knocked Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, saying that he's attacking President Bola Tinubu economic and policies and decisions on forced subsidy removal, foreign exchange market reform, to divert public attention from his own alleged poor performance in the state. This is actually coming from the federal government in a statement that has already been signed by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Malam Muhammad Idris, caution Obaseki, keep an eye on your state and leave Bola Tinubu to continue with the good job that he has started already. Interesting time ahead.
Let's hope to see what it's going to do. I mean, because it's so interesting. Everybody's just trying to do something. Somebody said, do something before they die. Let's see. Bishop Adesina says, good morning, Kudos Starr Radio UK. My regards to you all, and Olayomin Koiki. Our regards to you and to all the team at the RBS office in Lagos State. Okay, well, we hope you're all doing good. Well, it is the Friday edition of the morning show. We'll go back to Yomi with the rest of the stories. But this scam, a visa scam thing that seems to be going on. And genuinely, there are some people who have come to town who are alleged to have gotten themselves the jobs to do. They landed a week later. They went for their NI and stuff like that. Some have got their jobs to go to. But what has happened with some people who are saying that, well, they have to sell their properties and make the money to pay for the processing fee and whatever, and are here in the UK now and have got no jobs and are now crying foul. What is their intention? What is going on exactly?
Well, Nigeria continue to come onto the news just for the wrong reasons. Again, as many Nigerians, and I have a figure around that from the report that I've been following myself, as over 40,000 plus Nigerians were in the country last year for what is called the work scheme visa. What does that mean? The UK government the Home Office know that some sector in the country needs help when it comes to care assistant and some other areas, and there were kind of a scheme that allows you to travel to UK not just on your own. You can also travel with your own family and dependents. It's not just for Nigerians, it's for different countries that wants to come and work in the healthcare sector. That literally means that you'll be a care assistant. Is as simple and basic like that. You're not going to be a midwife, a psychiatric nurse. You're not going to be any other thing more than the fact that you have a sponsor from a particular agency that has the license in UK, and that license enables and allows you to travel to UK with your dependent. But it seems that that has now been abused one way or the other, from the news filtering out through the UK and around the globe as we speak right now. The headline says Nigerians are now stranded in the United Kingdom, victims of visa scam. We've heard about scam. Scam is not something that happens in one particular country, but it seems that there's a new report has revealed that a rising number of Nigerians are falling victim of a deceptive scheme that involves paying substantial amount in naira for job opportunities that, guess what, do not actually exist within the United Kingdom skilled work visa system. Not that the jobs are not existing, but it seems that the agencies that are bringing these Nigerians in do not have the capacity of enough jobs. Rather, people are paying them certain amount of money in naira to equivalent to bringing them to UK. Jobs, they are not getting the shift, and the cost of living here you have to pay. It's not like Nigerians that are lived in the country before leaving, that probably some of them never paid rent. Some of them own their property, they've sold it off. According to the recent investigation that was exposed by the Sky News on Wednesday, highlighted the distressing situation of Nigerian migrants coerced by the traveling agent into paying sums to enter the UK, only to find themselves stranded without the promised employment upon arrival. Guess what? Some of them are paying up to £10,000, according to the news that was circulated on the Sky News on Wednesday. £1,000 for a skilled work visa that was supposed to secure her a job as a carer in the UK, but she has now been left stranded.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Bishop Adesina says gunmen have killed a military man. Military men have killed military men in Edo State. That is some information, breaking news that is bringing our way in Nigeria. Okay, but if you have fallen victim to this scam, we're saying that it's not necessarily that there are no jobs at all. Maybe the agency itself that brought you in didn't have that job, and maybe they could send you to other parts of the country to go and get yourself the job. But would that be? Can that be? That is the question that's on the lips of most people. But listen, Starr Radio UK, I think we're having a bit of a problem with Yomi's connection. But let's see whether we can hear him now or whether he can hear us now. Hello, Yomi. Hello, Yomi. Okay, we'll try to get him so that he can bring out the rest of the stories that is making the rounds this morning. Just bear with us. We're going to get Mr. Olayomin Koiki with us once again so that he can bring you the rest of the stories. But interestingly, looking at some of the stories that we looked at earlier on, I hope this is not connectivity. Okay, yeah, it's not from this side. So Yomi, let's see whether we can get Yomi back. Okay, just bear with us. Let's take a quick break whilst we try to do that.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome back to the program. We sincerely apologize for the loss in transmission there when Mr. Olayomin Koiki's line went down, but we've got him back. And let me see, Yomi. Hello, Yomi.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. It looks like we're having some technical glitch behind there. Let's see if we're back now. Yes, as we were saying earlier, there is a lot of Nigerians that are concerned. There's a lot of Nigerians that are worried when it comes to the situation that they're paying a lot of money, but unfortunately, they are not getting the jobs. Like you said, the job is there. It's just that it seems that the agency bringing them in has brought more than what they do not have enough capacity for, and that is going to have a big repercussion now, not just on Nigerians, other countries that might still want to come on that particular work scheme.
Yeah, okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 11:37. Okay, and we have Mr. Olayomin Koiki with us. So we'll go to, we'll leave him so that he can bring us the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, let's just go straight into some of the news headline coming out of Nigeria. As we said, federal government makes 2 trillion naira tax from Google, Facebook, according to the foreign firms report. So it seems that the social media is also generating some kind of income for the federal government. Akwa Ibom governor orders relocation of the Chinese firm over alleged emission that is also happening as well. In position, Yaya Bello, Itagiwa led protest to Ganduje residents. As we know that it seems that politicians are never too satisfied. The governor of Koiki State, Yaya Bello, has taken his protest to the residents of the national chairman of the party, the former governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, to press home his demand for the immediate resignation of the party deputy national publicity secretary designated Duro Misako. So we don't know what is going to be the outcome of that as well. I'm going to go straight to one more. Food palliative, Tinubu asks Nigerian to vote out. We talked about that already. Again, many Nigerians are unemployed, but it seems that the National Bureau of Statistics says that the rate is dropped by 4.1%, according to the Statistician General. These figures align perfectly with the neighboring countries around Nigeria, which is being compared with Niger, Chad, and Benin. Imagine that we have to compare with these 3 smaller countries when it comes to unemployment rate. Nigeria unemployment rate has dropped by 4.1% in the first quarter of 2023. So the question to those watching us is, do you literally have a job? And if you have job, how long have you been employed? And if you don't have a job, how long have you been out of job? Because we know that many Nigerians are coming out after completing their NYSC services, and yet they do not have a job. This was sometimes a few years back when the immigration was advertising jobs, and many Nigerians flew to the stadium only for chaos, and I believe few Nigerians died in that process as well. Let's look at more into that as well. According to Mr. Adeniran, the new method, which indicates that not less than 73% of Nigerians are engaged in one form of work, recognizes all forms of engagement from which individuals earn income. He also said using the new ILO definition, survey showed that unemployment rate for the fourth quarter of 2022 stood at 5.3%, and it stood at 4.1% in the first quarter of 2023. So it has literally dropped according to the report there. These figures aligns perfectly with the neighboring countries around Nigeria. Ghana 3.9%, Niger 0.5%, Chad 1.4%, Cameroon 4.0%, Togo 4.1%, Benin Republic 1.7%. So it seems that the only countries that we can align with is some of these countries, and we look at the population of those countries. You ask yourself, is Nigeria really serious as a country, is the question. The changes include revision of design and methodology applied in the conduct of the actual survey, which is the survey that produced commonly known headline unemployment and under unemployment rate, as well as the other labor market indicator that guide policy makers and researchers. We're going to go straight to what is happening on the social media, where 2 trillion, as we've been hearing, is what the social media paid the federal government, in terms of revenue. So what is trending is a question this morning, as many Nigerians are asking, questions, especially around the election tribunal. I've been following the PDP. It seems that they've managed to be able to get what we call, the right to get the result of the President Bola Tinubu from the university, as Bola Tinubu said he attended. We'll see if we can get that report in just about a few minutes. But let's go back and see what Nigerians are saying when it comes to the social media. Yes, Yoruba will continue to ronu while you continue to ponu with unwise political choice. This is coming from Bolu Tife at Bolu Tife. You are from a region where as small as kerosene, yam, 500 naira is enough to buy your vote for the next 4 years. PDP, knowing how cheap your choices are, tried it for 23 years and they went scot-free. At least our leaders are responsible enough to give out palliatives. What did your governor do except buy a 35 million brand new vehicles for his appointees? So it seems that more Nigerians are checking out what is happening when it comes to each of their state as well. Also, let's look at what Nigerians are getting when it comes to palliative. I think we have the image that is coming up in just about a few minutes. Let's see if we can get that image. Bear with us, as many Nigerians are being subsidized. So this particular one has Badagry West LCD, fuel subsidy palliative. So inside it's got Gari, and I believe this is a sugar or kuli. I don't know what is in there, but we're trying to see if we can get that image up for our viewers this morning. But like I said, many Nigerians are still asking question, how did we get to where we are today, and how can we come out of it? But it seems that Bola Tinubu, the government, says they're doing everything economic wise to support many Nigerians during this palliative and during this very difficult time as well. We know that more countries are going to be joining the BRICS, like we discussed a few days ago, but Nigeria is not going to be among them to start with. Those countries that will be joining the BRICS will be Ethiopia, Argentina, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and Iran. And according to Okechukwu, JC says the new map of BRICS, that is nearly 70% of the global oil production, and they are all moving away from the USD, because if they don't, they can someday be sanctioned, just like Russia. So it seems that BRICS countries that will be joining next year, January, Nigeria is not going to be one of such countries as well. So the reaction again, as many Nigerians are asking, will Nigeria at one day be a member of the BRICS country or BRICS nation? But like I said, it seems that that is not going to happen anytime soon, as negotiation is still going on. Later on tonight, there will be more when it comes to those agitating for the right to self-determination, as we know that a lot of events is taking place this weekend. And those events is coming from a new radio that is going to be launched again, online radio on Sunday. Also on Saturday, the question is, can Yoruba survive without Nigeria? This is going to be a town hall meeting from Ihilana Omodua, the Canada chapter. And likewise tonight, the Yonkan, the Yoruba Christian Association, is also having a program. But tomorrow also is a one-day youth conference that is also taking place. So these are part of the engagement that is happening later on this weekend from today. And as we continue to monitor what is happening in Nigeria, I will come back again to you now, Mr. Archie. And once again, this is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomin Koiki, for you, bringing you all that you need to know pertaining to Nigeria. But you did talk about those who you were talking about Yoruba, whether Nigeria can make it without Yoruba nation or the southwest, and then the southeast as well. But there have been some legislators who have appealed. I mean, House of Representatives ad hoc committee who have set up to interface with security agencies to reduce kidnapping, assassination, and banditry in and around Isukuoto, Kuato, and Omonochi local councils of Abia State, and has called on President Bola Tinubu to release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. And they are saying that unconditional release of him is a panacea for peace in the southeast. But has there been any response from the presidency, especially when we know that the new information minister is saying that this time round, no kululu, we just come straight with the facts?
Well, there's been a response from the government in exile of the Biafra, and when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu, there's a lot of concern, especially because of his health that is becoming a little bit alarming. Simon Ekpa says, responding to what you said, reps call for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to end insecurity in the southeast region. And this is a response from the government in exile. Simon Ekpa says, all of you reps who remain silent until now, you can never escape the wrath of Biafrans in due time.
Well, let's see what happens. Any response from the presidency pertaining to Chief Sunday Igboho?
Well, we have to wait to see. Now that there's ministers, you can see that the Minister of Information is responding quickly. Maybe now that more addresses will have to go to each of these ministers, because since we didn't know which of the portfolio each one of them will be going for, but now that there's a minister in place, maybe if there is a communication going out to the Minister of Information, the AGF, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, they will be able to respond back to this current situation when it comes to the Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho and cases like Nnamdi Kanu that has been pending, as we know, for a very long time. We know that these two individuals are fighting for a just cause, but it seems that the previous government of Muhammadu Buhari, who probably may be different from Bola Tinubu's government, but as many people are saying, it's taking too long for the president to respond to some of these two cases. But like I said, now that we have the AGF in place, just maybe we might have a final conclusion on Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho and the federal government of Nigeria, and also Nnamdi Kanu and the federal government of Nigeria, El Zakizaki and the federal government of Nigeria, Omayele Sowore and the federal government of Nigeria, and so many other cases that are lining up and pending when it comes to those that are fighting humanity cases in Nigeria.
Wow, listeners, we want to go on. We'll go on and on and on and on and on. But let me say, Yomi, thank you very much for that. We hope that one day we'll all see all this one sitting around the table smoking the peace pipe, and we'll have a peaceful Nigeria if that need to be. That means that people will not decide to say we want out because we are being marginalized, but that we are all being treated fairly. That is what everybody wants. That's all these leaders want. Treat us fairly and don't marginalize us, and we'll be okay. But are we going to see that? Maybe the new sheriff in town has got a new vision. Who knows? But well, Yomi, before you go.
Well, it's a weekend again, and as we go away for the weekend, be rest assured that there is still more to be following when it comes to the Star Radio UK network. As we will be leaving you, I'll be back again on Monday morning at 11 o'clock for the news headline from Nigeria. May Nigeria not happen to us until we come back on Monday. Have a good weekend, and for those of us that will be in Nigeria, make sure you're security conscious as well. Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomin Koiki. Okay, but let me announce it that bank holiday Monday, and therefore we'll be back on Tuesday to every one of you, so that you can enjoy the full show that we're going to be bringing you. As we did say, some of us, there is a bank holidays that are our holidays, right? But don't you go away. There's lots going to be coming your way from Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's enjoy this song from the Root Riders. It says, "Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right." You got to do so. Stand up for your right. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 2 minutes to the top of the hour. And it's the Friday edition of the morning show. And as we say on this platform, this is where the best way to have your weekend.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
All right then. So let me announce the lines open and then we continue with the show. You want to join in the conversation? 0208-133-2257 or 58 is the number. 0208-133-2257 or 58 is the number. And also, for those of you in US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it is 0017183032737. 0017183032737. You can also text or WhatsApp us, It is 0753-966-1744, 0753-966-1744. Our Twitter handle is @Starr Radio UK. Email address is info@starradiouk.com. So get in touch. All right then. So now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds this morning across the globe. Well, the death of the Wagner boss was going to have a ramification when it came to some parts of Africa, especially those who are using the Wagner mercenary group for security. Okay. Now, residents in Niger capital of Niamey are still hopeful on Thursday that Wagner mercenary group will assist in the area despite reports of a possible demise of Russian mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin. Now, Nigerian Taylor Barrow-Soliman has started making Russian flags after the coup at the end of July and expressed his desire for Russia to intervene in the area. If the relationship is good and strong, it's possible they'll continue with the deal even after his death, as Prigozhin, Suleiman said. As pro-Russian enthusiasm mounts, he claims to have sold around 150 flags so far. Russian flags have been seen lately at various pro-cool rallies across the country. In the army trade, Russian flags are easy to find, while French flags seem to have disappeared. There won't be any problems. They can come. There won't be any problems, and we wish for them to come and said local resident Osman Diafa. Now, Prigozhin and some of his top lieutenants were presumed dead in a plane crash on Wednesday. Well, as of now, there have not been any identification of him yet, but it's assumed that's one of the 10 that died. Okay, and his lieutenants. In Libya, Islamic leader has been captured. That's what the government is saying. A leader of the jihadist group Islamic State, the planner and sponsor of 3 deadly attacks in 2018 in the capital Tripoli, has been captured, and the heads of Libyan government of national unity announced on Thursday evening. Our forces apprehended on Tuesday a leader of the terrorist organization Daesh, Arabic acronym for El Ed Note, involved in planning and command of terrorist acts that targeted our country's institutions and their foreign officials. Abdelhamid Deiba, head of Libya's UN recognized government based in the capital, said in a live TV address. The operation was carried out jointly by the Radar, that is the Deterrence Force, and the Rabat al-Duru Shields Brigade from Tajuara, on eastern suburb of Tripoli, according to the government media office, which gave no further details on the identity of nationality of the jihadists. Mr. Dbeiba renewed his government's commitment to fighting terrorism in all its fronts, prosecuting anybody or anyone involved in terrorist acts and strengthening stability throughout the country, despite difficulties and challenges to protect Libya from obscurantists, terrorists, and criminals. Wow. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Well, now that he's apprehended, well, you know that one die, one come. That's what they do all the time. So they're going to appoint another person if they apprehended him. But you see, this brings into question hindsight, which is somebody say very, very interesting. Because if they knew that this was going to happen, would they have taken out the one and only Gaddafi, who was clamping down on them like no man's business? Well, it's all Starr Radio UK. Now, in ECOWAS has slammed unacceptable Niger transition plan. The West African bloc ECOWAS rejected the proposal by Niger mutinous soldiers for a 3-year transition to democratic rule. Speaking to Al Jazeera earlier this week, the bloc commissioner for peace and security said it was unacceptable. The door for diplomacy with Niger's junta remained open, but the bloc is not going to engage in drawn-out talks that leads nowhere. Abdel Fattah Musa, the ECOWAS commissioner for peace and security, told Associated Press in an interview on Wednesday. It is a belief among the ECOWAS heads of state and also the commission that the coup in Niger is one of the coups too many for the region, and if we allow it, then we are going to have a domino effect in the region, and we are determined to stop it, Musa said. While direct talks and back-channel negotiations are ongoing, he said the door to diplomacy wasn't open indefinitely. So what did they intend doing? Let me say good morning to Shamsuddin. God bless you, sir. God bless Yoruba Nation, and God bless you. Hope that you're going to be having a very, very good day and a wonderful weekend there as well. Well, they are looking at the domino effects that the coup in Niger can have, because it's happened in Mali, it's happened in what they call that place as well. It's happened in Burkina Faso and some other. So the question now is, are they trying to address the actions and inactions of leaders of the state who are supposed to serve the people, but rather are found wanting when it comes to their first, the economy of the people. And the people look at the whole thing and think we can't take it any longer. Are you going to say that because if you can't take it, you still have to shove it down your throat, whether you like it or not, and then we will bring you we'll bring in the what do you call it, the ECOWAS forces, standby force. You can see some of the military leaders there with some what this one is what 4-star or 8-star general with lots of pegs, and the way he sits, you think that it's going to be very strong. But when some people are fighting, they're not fighting whether you are big or not. I'm bringing an arm to shoot you down, and you think that it's your macho-ness or how big or how huge you are that will stop the bullet from penetrating. Is that what we're talking about? Well, it's all Starr Radio UK. Well, TikTok has agreed to have its content moderated in Kenya and has reassured President Ruto. We hope that it works well for them. But well, in another story making the rounds in Zimbabwe, opposition has vowed to track and monitor as vote counts begins. The spokesperson for the Zimbabwean opposition party, Citizen Coalition for Change, the CCC, advised gathered media in Harare that his party was performing well in the current elections. The information we have is that we are leading in the presidential election comfortably, and we are doing well in the parliamentary election, Promise Mukwanazi said. Now, we expect this trend to continue because the people of Zimbabwe have decided that they want change. The country entered the second day of voting on Thursday after major delays due to shortages in ballot papers, which led to thousands of Zimbabweans not being able to cast their votes on the official election day. That was Wednesday. The many Zimbabweans registered to vote at the affected polling station spent the previous night camping outside until the issue was resolved. We still did not know who printed them, where they were printed, and how many were printed, Mukwanazi said. The question that begs answers is, how did we have the level of shortages that we witnessed, he added. Well, polls are expected to close by 7 p.m. local time, where attention will tend to vote counting, with results expected to be announced on the 1st of September 2023. And what is it going to be? Let's take it, okay, this way. Should it happen that the incumbent loses the election, are they going to bow out gently and say, you know what, we've lost, ZANU-PF has lost, and so the CCC take the reins and do whatever you want to do? Don't they think that they are going to come after them, and therefore will entrench themselves in position and do everything possible? Even if it did happen in the US, where we had now Donald Trump, who phoned the Georgia, the person in charge of the electoral the elections there, that look, can't you find me 11,780 votes to overturn the whole listen, so that I can be the winner of that? If it did happen in the US, then when it comes to Zimbabwe and some African or some developing country, this is chicken feed. Wow. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on now to some other stories this around in Ghana as well. Well, in relation to what is happening in Niger, well, the GCBC has reinstated or reinforced their voice, saying that do not use force in restoring constitutional rule in Niger. The Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference has called on the Economic Community of West African States leadership not to use force in restoring constitutional rule in Niger. Are they against what? Military rule or democratic rule? Or is it that they are seeing the way that everything that is going on there seems to be spiraling out of control, that where democracy is not working for us at all? The Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, henceforward conference, okay, notes with grave concern the military intervention in the Republic of Niger, which occurred on the 26th July 2023, leading to the overthrow of the democratically elected government of President Mahmoud Bazoum in Niger. Now, the conference is further concerned that for the past 3 years, the West African sub-region has been plagued with a series of coup d'etats after years of continent attempts to deepen democratic governance. The Catholic Bishop of Sunyani and President, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Jemfi stated, he continued, this situation started with the Republic of Mali in 2020, Guinea in 2021, Burkina Faso in 2022, and now Niger in 2023. The conference further urges the government of Ghana to refrain from the use of force and likewise urges its colleague leaders to do same. But well, is it coming? Domino effect? Are we going to be seeing it? Or with the threat of an invasion by the ECOWAS? I don't know whether now they call them the ECOMOG, because back in the day during the Liberian War and the Sierra Leonean War, they call them ECOMOG. Okay, so I don't know whether they are now still called ECOMOG or now they're calling them the standby force. Well, whatever it is, well, let's see what happens. But as I did say, what are the push factors? What are causing people to think that they need to do so? What are the push factors? What are causing them to do so? Yes. We are doing well too. Thank you, Mr. Dan Tabiri. Well, okay. Renowned economist Dr. Kwame Pianim has joined a debate that the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, and his two deputies should resign for wrongfully financing the government, arguing the governor did nothing wrong for supporting an ailing economy. According to him, the governor's resignation will not solve any problem, adding that the economic crisis was not caused by the Bank of Ghana. Speaking to the media, Dr. Pianim said the governor and his team did not perpetuate any fraud, and therefore assertion of incompetence and mismanagement of the economy is neither here nor there. Now, resignation doesn't solve any problem. If the governor resigns now, what happens? The same Minister of Finance, Kenneth Fariata, who is at the core of the economic crisis, recommends to the same president a new person. They appoint somebody who doesn't know the terrain, who hasn't gone through this experience to be able to solve the problem. No, he said. What I'm saying is that it is true incompetence. No, not incompetence. What is true fraud? Was it true fraud? Did the governor benefit? Did any of his company benefit from what he did? No, the renowned economist pointed out. Dr. Pianim furthered that Bank of Ghana did nothing wrong for not going to parliament before supporting the government to revive a struggling economy. According to him, the Bank of Ghana did not need any parliamentary approval before supporting an ailing economy. I don't recall that the Bank of Ghana need parliamentary approval. Remember, we suspended the Fiscal Responsibility Act. When the fiscal responsibility was removed, it was saying, in effect, we cannot obey the regulations that we have governing the fiscal, so we are suspending it. Now, when the Minister of Finance went to the Parliament and they agreed to suspend the Fiscal Responsibility Act, Parliament should have asked what happens to the equivalent, that is the Monetary Policy Act, which is Article 36 of the Amendment Bank of Ghana Act, which says that if there is an emergency and the Bank of Ghana needs to be able to suspend the rules surrounding monetary policy, what they do is to inform the Minister of Finance, he explained. To him, it is the Minister for Finance responsibility to report to Parliament. We didn't make Bank of Ghana responsible to go to Parliament. So when the Minister of Finance went to Parliament to suspend the Fiscal Responsibility Act, somebody from the opposition should have asked what happened to the Article 36 of the Banking Act, and the minister should have said concurrently that part is also suspended. That part is also suspended because you cannot suspend Fiscal Responsibility Act and leave the complementary dimension on the monetary policy side. Well. That is from Dr. Kwame Pianim. I remember him like it was yesterday, because I remember when he was fighting for his bid to become the flag bearer of the MPP. We were one of the campaigners for him, one of the ones who did it. We were doing all the campaign for him back in the day. That was when Professor Dubois won the take. But I remember then the late Jerry John Rawlings doing everything to stop him, saying that he had been imprisoned before. He's an ex-con, therefore he couldn't become president, a presidential candidate. I remember that very, very well, because we went to his premises and we're doing all sorts. We've done things, But well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Let me bring you other story from Ghana, and then we'll move on. And this pertains to a statement that a former MPP MP made. And I asked myself the question, do they all believe in that? Or is God being partial or maybe relaxing a bit before taking any action on any of these ones? Now, Edward Enin, former New Patriotic Party member for Parliament for Obuasi East, has disclosed that he called a regrettable incident from his political career. He admits that his decision to prioritize his party's interests over the well-being of the nation has led to personal consequences he now considers a divine punishment. Now, speaking on a radio station on August 23, Enin recounted an incident that transpired in 2015 when he was entrusted with overseeing a government contract for the construction of a constituency building in Ashanti region. The contract, according to him, was awarded by the MPP, the NDC. He explained that driven by his alliance to the MPP, he deliberately orchestrated a 10-month delay in the project's execution. This delay, he acknowledges, was motivated by a desire to deny the NDC an opportunity to utilize the government facility as a campaign tool during the forthcoming 2016 elections. My goodness, the former MP further asserted that his action had repercussions on his personal finances after the NDC lost the election. He said that the said election he wanted to demonstrate his support for his party by purchasing cement for the building project from the MPP's own chairman, who is now an MP and a deputy minister. However, his efforts were met with setbacks as he faced difficulties in obtaining the cement and the money he used to order the same. Well, so he's saying that it's God who has punished him for whatever he did. But what do you think? He tried to sabotage a project that the then government, that's the NDC government, had awarded a contract to him to undertake. So if you see things like that happening, you ask yourself the question, do you think it is wrong for a party to come into power and decide not to give the opposition, anybody who is not aligned to them, a contract? Because they think that maybe they will use that, they'll sabotage the contract, and therefore by so doing say that look, they are underperformed, and then it will help your party to come to power, and therefore everybody will think that, well, one party wins all and everything should be given to them. But it's a sad one there. So coming away from Starr Radio UK. We'll be bringing the program to a close at 12:30. As I say, our money man cannot be with us today. Now, in some other stories making the rounds across the globe, a historic Trump mugshot released after arrest in Atlanta, Georgia, and his bunyo face. Donald Trump has surrendered in Georgia on charges of plotting to overturn the state 2020 elections result in an arrest that saw the first ever mugshot of a former U.S. president with his bunyo face. Okay, Mr. Trump had to pay a bail bond of $200,000 to be released from the Atlanta jail while he awaits trial. Afterwards, he described the case as travesty of justice. Now, it was his fourth arrest in 5 months in a criminal case, but this was his first police booking photo. Now, Mr. Trump later posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, for the first time since January 2021. He shared the address of his website and the mugshot with an all-capital letters caption, "Election interference, never surrender." He joins the ranks of American public figures who have had arrest booking photos, including Frank Sinatra, Al Capone, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Well, were they standing for a right thing? Somebody say yes, but did he do the right thing there? Mr. Trump argues the case against him is politically motivated because he is leading the Republican race to challenge President Joe Biden, a Democrat, in the next year's presidential election. Well. After that, he just flew to his New Jersey on his private jet on Thursday afternoon. Mr. Trump was whisked to Fulton County Jail by more substantial motorcade than he has used for previous court appearances this year. Okay. Well, some of them who have been also arrested or have been arrested and have presented themselves to the court and have been released on bail are Ray Smith, Kathy Latham, Rudy Giuliani, Kenneth Chisebro, Harrison Floyd, Sidney Powell, Mark Meadows, and Gina Ellis. Well. I bet they're all saying we did nothing wrong. Everything that we did was right. Africans do ask that question. Can't you get some votes to make me the winner? So if I make that statement, it is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. And he has his followers following him, saying that it's all what? A travesty of justice and a political witch hunt. Because I am the only person who can outtake or overtake or overthrow Let's see what happens there. The Democrats from power. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Kremlin has denied giving order to kill Wagner chief Prigozhin. Russia hit back at Western official. Kremlin impossible to say if Putin would attend Prigozhin's funeral. Has it been identified at all? Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov says allegations that Russia gave an order to kill Yevgeny Prigozhin are a complete lie. Peskov says there's a lot of speculation amid the tragic death of the passengers on board the plane. Earlier, the UK Defense Ministry said the Wagner chief Prigozhin is highly likely to be dead after Wednesday's plane crash near Moscow, but it warns there is not yet definitive proof he was on board the plane, saying he was known to take exceptional security measures. Now, one U.S. official has anonymously told some news network that an explosion on the aircraft was the probable cause. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin sent condolences and paid tribute to Prigozhin on Thursday, but stopped short of definitively confirming he was dead. But as whether he's going to be part of Prigozhin's funeral, that maybe he will do it, as you know, when he has conferences or meetings with people and he sits at one end of the table and the people sit at the other end. That is what is going to happen there. It's all from Starr Radio. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, the U.S. Department of Justice has said it's suing Elon Musk SpaceX, alleging that rocket firm discriminates against refugees and asylum seekers in its hiring practices. The DOJ says SpaceX falsely claimed that it was not allowed to hire non-U.S. citizens. Maybe because of the technology. They don't want somebody to steal their technology. The investigation into SpaceX by DOJ, Department of Justice, was prompted after allegations of discrimination from a foreign worker. DOJ alleged that SpaceX routinely discouraged asylees and refugees from applying and refused to hire or consider them because of their citizenship status from September 2018 to May 2022. An asylee is a person who has been granted asylum. They are authorized to work in the U.S., may apply for a social security card, and may request permission to travel overseas, and can apply to bring family members to the country. The Elon Musk company said it was only allowed to hire citizens and green card holders because of export control laws. Now, however, the DOJ also said that it was not correct that these laws do not mandate such restrictions. Well, maybe they're not very sure the allegiance of this person, so they will say that until the person becomes a citizen and sworn to the flag or to the state, then maybe they shouldn't be allowed in that part. So what do you think? Well, is the case going to fall flat on the face? Versus Starr Radio UK. One final story: a Spanish FA chief refuses to resign over World Cup case. Now, Luis Rubiales will not step down after outrage over his conduct at Sunday's Women's World Cup final. Now, kissing the number 11 was the name on the lips, and people have talked about that. Well. Is it a spontaneous thing or what actually took place there? Interesting. Now, winter energy bills tick lower but will remain high. A new price cap by regulator of GEM means a typical home will pay £1,923 a year from October for energy. It's one of the stories making the rounds. And 88 UK deaths linked to Canadian poison seller Kenneth Law, and it's alleged to have run a number of websites selling equipment to assist suicide. Well, a police officer has been hit by a train while helping a man. Oh my goodness, let me bring you that story and then we can bring that program to a close. Nottinghamshire police were called to the line near Newark North Gate Station at about 19 hours BST on Thursday over concerns for a man's safety. The force said during the incident, the officer was hit by a train while a man suffered a non-life-threatening electrocution injuries. They both remain in hospital. Nottinghamshire Chief Constable Kate Maynell said, "This is a truly devastating incident that has left one of our officers very poorly in hospital. We are supporting his family and ensuring that he gets all the care and support he needs." This was also extremely traumatic for all those who attended the scene, some of whom provided immediate medical assistance while the ambulance was on its way. I would like to personally thank them for this quick and dedicated response to the incident. Well, what would you do if you're a police officer and you go to a scene and you see somebody trying to commit suicide standing in the middle of the way and you see the train going to be approaching? What will you do? What will you do? That is the big question. But well, let the talkatives talk and let us, the rest of us, do what we're gonna do. But that's why I bring the program to a close for today. God willing, come Monday we're not going to be in because it's going to be the bank holiday, so we're going to take a break, and then Tuesday we're going to be back firing on all cylinders. So wherever you are, don't tap the dial. Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's with me, Archie, saying have a top of the day and the week and the long weekend, and see you all on Monday. Bye bye for now.
Like my favorite song on this album, y'all.
Online, on mobile, and soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading broadcasting live radio station in London.
It's no secret.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
People like to talk. Thanks
for listening.
They will spread lies and rumors just to be known. So why are you wasting your time like this? Hearing those things that break your heart. Give no attention, give no thoughts. Cause people talk, but they'll never help you walk. So whenever they speak, look up and you will see a broken pencil and a sheet, and tell them, say, I'm writing names of talkatives. Yeah.
All of this noise you're making on me. Teacher will get you when he comes. I have a race.
No time to waste.
No time to waste.
I'm writing names of talkatives.
I'm writing names of talkatives.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
all of
9.
this noise you're making on me.
Teacher, let them when you come.
Teacher will get you when he comes. I have a race.
No time to waste.
No time to waste.
There are many voices in this life, and to be honest, many are not nice. So don't hear something and pick a knife, cause most of these things are nothing but lies. Teacher said be careful how you hear, cause there are talkatives here, they are everywhere. So silence the voices in your head and give no attention to your fears. I'm writing
names of talkatives. All of this noise you're making on me. Teacher will get you when he comes.
As for me,
I have a race.
No time to waste.
No time to waste.
I'm writing names of talkatives.
I'm writing names of talkatives.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
all of this noise you're making on me.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
Teacher will get you when he comes. I have a race. No time to waste.
Can we talk?
Yeah.
Can we talk? Call them, say
talkatives.
Do you know any?
Talkatives.
Yeah. Have you met any?